Hey guys, hey, Dr. Sean here. We're going to talk about children's conditions this morning. I see these a lot in practice, and it's something you maybe wouldn't think about. We talk so much about adult conditions and diseases and disorders that a lot of times we forget about the kids. So what's interesting about children's conditions is that they're relatively easy to fix. And it makes it kind of a fun thing to do in practice because you can fix things that people struggle with or nobody else seems to be able to figure out an answer for. So we're going to take one that I've seen in my practice quite a bit over the years, and we have phenomenal success with it. It's called Osgood-Schlatter Disease. It's a swelling that you get in the knee, right about here. And what happens is kids grow real fast. Boys or girls, it's more common in young boys, I think, because of their athleticism, where you're starting to see it now in girls because they're playing more soccer, they're playing more basketball at younger ages. The more you stress the body and you stress the muscles, that's where you start seeing these conditions show up. So what happens, basically for a lack of better words, is that the quadriceps muscle, all of your thigh muscles, they get overdeveloped or you get a dysfunction, and that's the key here, a dysfunction in another muscle group. And you start getting a pull at the front side of the shin bone where these anchor on. Now, it's almost what they would call an avulsion, where it starts to tear away from the bone a little bit because it's pulling so hard. They're growing faster, the muscles are growing quicker, and they're getting stronger. The bone may not be keeping up as quickly. The body has to adapt. And so it starts thickening that material across the front of that shin. Now, medically, from what I know, physical therapy, standard orthopedic care, they don't really have a lot for this. You can stretch, you can do this, you can do that. There's some topicals. Sometimes they'll use painkillers. Sometimes they'll restrict your motion for a while. But it doesn't solve the problem. It doesn't fix it. It doesn't really get at the cause. So how do we do it? Obviously, you know what I'm going to say. Examine, examine, examine. You look at the anatomy, and the thing you'll find all the time is that there'll be problems with the femur head, the leg bone on the upper leg. There'll be some kind of a distortion or a torque to it. You correct it. There'll be something going on in an ankle. You correct that. Then you look at the knee itself and the knee joint, and you stabilize that. Now, once the bony structures are put into place, the next thing you want to focus on then is those muscles, right? We talk about it all the time when we're doing that muscle memory reintegration. We're retraining those muscles to fire. If you've got one group that's tight, then there's a chance there's another guy on the other end of the teeter-totter that's not doing his job. And so you start there. And as you start balancing muscles, not strengthening, we're not talking weightlifting here. We're talking muscles that have shut down in an effort to protect themselves. Something happened, a trip, a fall, a slip, something occurred that caused those muscles to check out. And the problem with that is when you go to lift, you go to rehab them, every time you strain the muscle, it checks out. You have to train it. You have to teach it to stay back on again. Once you teach that muscle to stay on, then all the physical therapy, all the weightlifting, all the activity, those will all be beneficial then. But the key to it is turning that back on. Now, when you do, miracles happen, guys. It's every day in practice. I've got kids coming in that are athletes, softball, basketball. I got a young boy playing football right now that's all suffering from this condition needlessly. It takes maybe 3-4 weeks to fix it. When it's good, it's done. Now, I have personal experience with this because my brother had it. Something fierce. He had a condition in the heel as well, which we'll talk about in another video sometime, called Seavers. He had that condition as well as he was growing up. He grew real fast in a hurry. He was very athletic, but he, to this day, has the thick little bony structure below his knee. He's 40 years old, and it still bothers him. You look at that and you start thinking, that's not right. Oh, you'll outgrow it is what you always hear. It'll go away on its own. Just let the body adapt. That's not always the case. And so if you have a child who's suffering, and it's hard as a parent to watch, a 9, 10, 12, 13, 14-year-old child suffer. They don't have to. That's the greatest part about this. Find the cause, remove the cause, restore normal function, and miracles happen. Dr. Sean.